You can too. Stop cussing. Stop using that as an excuse. I don't care how long you've been cussing. I don't care how you feel like it's seasoning on all your food. I don't care about none of that. Let me tell you a little quick testimony for me. Okay? I started cussing when I was 4. There was a movie called Nutty Professor that came out, if anybody's familiar with it. And when Eddie Murphy played his whole family, he played his mama, his daddy, he played the professor, and I think he had a couple other characters that he played too. But anyways, there was a part on there where he was talking to himself. He was talking to the overweight professor, but he was the skinny Buddy Love. So Buddy Love was talking to Professor, and they were on stage and they was punching each other, and he was like, "Boom, you fat A, boom, you featherweight." So I was like 4, and I would be jumping up and down on the couch saying that part word for word. I'm an actress. I've been doing theater since I was a toddler. So when I would watch movies, I would become the movie, and I didn't care what they were saying. I was saying it too. I used to get a whooping for it, but I didn't feel like there was nothing wrong with it. So I started cussing when I was really young. My mama would just laugh. She would tell me it wasn't okay. I would get popped, but at the end of the day, she laughed. So if you laugh, and I don't care if I got to take a couple hits, you laughed, you know. And when I was a kid, I was the funny kid. So any song or movie that had a whole bunch of cuss words in it, everybody always looked at me while we watching it or while we listening to it, because they know I'm going to say it. And I'm going to say it with emphasis. That's just always been me. And even in high school and college, early adulthood, like that was me. Anybody ain't gonna cuss, I'm gonna cuss. I'm Big Stepper when it comes to cussing. Baby, I'm 31 years old and I ain't cussed since I was 30. I'm about to be 32 next month. It's been 2 years. It'll be, oh yeah. I wasn't 30, I was 29 when I stopped cussing. Okay. I stopped cussing in April of 2022. It's June of 2024. I haven't been cussing for 2 years. It's crazy to me because I've always been so well spoken. I've always worked in management and all this other stuff, so I know how to shut it off, right? I used to know how to shut it off. But baby, if I had the employees who would cuss, then we cussing together. You know what I mean? Like I didn't cuss around everybody. I'm not gonna cuss around the CEO or nothing, but I still used my language. You know what I mean? I knew how to respect adults, so I wasn't cussing around like my elders or my mama, like none of that. But if I was having a conversation with somebody my age or younger, baby, even somebody in their 40s, like, we're going to go at it. We're going to talk, like, we just going to, you know, that's just the way that it was. It wasn't until I gave my life to God and I was like, okay, Lord, I have broken ribs. I got all these kids. I done moved out of town. I just want a new life. Now, mind you, when I came to God, I was still dirty, okay? I was living my life how I wanted to live it, but I told God I gave it to him. And when I told him that I gave it to him, he started to send people to me that started to give me a mirror. And I was like, whoa, I didn't ask for all of that. And God was like, but you did, because when you gave your life to me, you was signing up for whoever I send to you to tell you about yourself. So people started to tell me about myself, and instead of, I started to be like, you're right. You're right. You're right. I can't karate kick everything that you tell me about myself because it must be true. If I keep getting back on this hamster wheel of abusive relationships, of friendships that are not serving me, of no reciprocity in anywhere in my life, getting ribs broken, getting my jaw broken, being sexually abused, being financially abused, there's something I'm doing wrong. Okay? I know I'm a good person, but I'm doing something wrong. What is it? God took that urge away from me to want to cuss. I didn't want to do it anymore. At first, I didn't see why. I was like, why can't I listen to Big Lotto? Why can't I listen to Cardi? I know every single Trina song verbatim. I've been singing Trina since before I was even old enough to go to school. How are you going to tell me that I can't sing these songs? But when I gave my life to God, I took it seriously. I didn't just go to church. I didn't start going to church until last year. I've been saved since 2022. When I gave my life to God, I started to read the Bible, you know, his actual word. I didn't need a church to tell me that. I started to speak to people who already had a connection with God, who could help mold me. And when they spoke to me, I actually ingested what they said. Now, there were a lot of things that were said to me that I know didn't come from God, and I let that go in one ear and out the other. But everything that God wanted me to receive, I received it, and I held on to it. It changed my sexual immorality. It changed my want to cuss. It changed my want to smoke weed and to drink alcohol. It changed my want to be around lustful people. It changed my want for all the things that I was doing in this world that, yeah, it might have felt good when I was worldly, but when my spiritual eyes opened, it no longer felt good. Being rubbed and touched by somebody that you know is not your husband does not feel good to you when you know that it's hurting God. Don't feel good when you know that it's hurting God. Drinking alcohol don't feel good when you know that it's hurting God. Anything that he hates, I now hate. Because spiritually, I am his. We are supposed to be a reflection of Jesus in everything that we do. And the way that I was talking was not a reflection of Jesus. The relationships that I was entangled in were not a reflection of Jesus or who he says I am. The way that I carried myself was not a reflection of Jesus or who he said I was. I do everything wholeheartedly. I was never wholeheartedly a Christian. Sometimes I would be scared to even claim Christianity because I did not know God. I knew of God. I thought I loved God, but in the Bible, Jesus says, if you love me, you will follow me. You can't say you love Jesus, but then you still getting high. You can't say you love Jesus, but you still fighting people and you still stealing and you still doing all these things. That's not love. If your husband tells you that he loves you, but he still cheats on you, do you think that he loves you? If your husband tells you that he loves you, but he still black your eye, do you think that he loves you? We can't keep cheating on God and abusing his grace, but saying that we love him. You have a choice right now to decide, do I want to get to know Jesus more? Or is being a follower of Christ going to take away the lifestyle that I'm so comfortable living? Because it is. My whole life changed when I gave my life to God. But now I don't care if I got $5 or $500 in my pocket or $5,000 in my pocket. I love God the same. I don't care if I have nobody around me or I have everybody around me. I love God the same. I don't care if I have no job or I got 2 jobs. I love God the same. But that didn't just happen out of nowhere. That happened because I decided to make a choice. And the choice that I made killed everything I was used to. But it birthed something that I've never had before. And I won't give it up for nothing. Are you ready to really submit? If you are, he's one call away.